DVDs, Blu-rays. Who told you about us? Scotty. Okay, checks out. You said you'd be coming by. Welcome to the store where we carry only the rarest limited editions, collector's items. All of the movies that you can't get anymore. Well, the versions of the movies. Are you looking for something specific? You heard I had a couple things. The Batman. Yeah, I sure do. Tell you what, I've got a lot of stuff. You might be interested, you might not. Why don't I just show you some of the stuff I got, and then you let me know if you're interested. Cool. Alright, well, as you can see, I don't put my stuff out. I don't want it to get stolen. I don't want people to pick it up and ruin it. So, I got it behind the shelf here. Let's just start with some of the simple stuff. So, the first stuff I got is the Family Guy Star Wars parodies. I got Family Guy Something Dark Side and Family Guy It's a Trap. Now, these were, television releases, and I was able to get a relatively limited supply of the Blu-rays. Now, obviously, this stuff is about Peter Griffin and Glenn Quagmire, Stewie, Darth Vader, and Darth Stewie, and they're out there doing what they do best, funny comedy, but they do it parodying Star Wars, and it's just awesome. So I highly recommend that you check that out if you haven't. The next one we got here is The Hangover, and this is a steelbook. And this is the German edition of The Hangover, and the extended cut. It's a little reflective. You got your chicken, you got the characters, the tiger, you got the German mark, and the Freigegeben. And then on the back, everything is also in German as well. A very interesting steelbook. This particular version only came out in Germany. And it includes a Blu-ray disc, pamphlet as well. As you can see, the inside, the DVD is decorated, but the inside is just flat steel. And you have a 100% German October 2011. And you have your premium collections, Harry Potter, comedy, your westerns, advertisements, dramas, horrors, thrillers, action, throughout that as well. So, that is the Hangover German edition. Very unique. Now, for part of why you came here, you said Batman, right? Well, this is part of the limited edition of Best Buy. And Best Buy is a store that doesn't even carry physical media anymore. So this is incredibly rare as well, and a testament to, let's face it, better times. There's nothing super special about this other than the fact that they're 4Ks and they all have a sort of a limited edition, special edition run covering packaging. This is the Christopher Nolan set. So you're gonna get all three. You're gonna get Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Incredible movie trilogy. And of course, with many of these, you also get the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the digital copy, all built in. Awesome. Let's move on. So the next one we got is the 300 steelbook. This one is also a little reflective, as you may or may not be able to see. The back is really cool as well. And of course, this is about the great Spartan Leonidas. Or depending on how you say it, Leonidas. Very similar to the Hangover. A lot of these first generations and special edition steelbooks, they don't have inside art. It's just blank. It's something that you don't see necessarily as often anymore. You usually see artwork inside of the steelbook as well, but not this one. And for those who haven't seen 300, the 300 is all about this man, not Gerard Butler, but Leonidas. He's a king of the Spartans, and King Xerxes, a Persian king, tries to bring them under his command, stiff arming them, and tries to get them to surrender, and they say nay, and King Leonidas takes 300 of his men and basically goes to war with an entire army. It's pretty cool. So let's go to see. I think this is my last Batman special edition, limited edition. This is one of the coolest, I think, limited edition, special edition releases that I've ever seen. Now this, I think, might have been a Target release, and it's just super, super cool. Reflective. It's got this interesting material. And that's not the end of it either. You have this on the back. It's just pretty, pretty standard. But what's really cool is you open this up. There's your first disc, but you also have some graphic art from the film. And then you have a comic strip. Now, this comic strip is not original. It portrays the first opening, I guess, scene in The Dark Knight Rises, where you have them transporting Bane. They don't know that it's Bane, and they take him up into the plane, again not knowing, and he gets free. And then it finishes with just a little bit of scale modeling for the prison and whatnot, art stills and the like, just some of the really incredible cinematic feats that the individuals who made this movie were able to accomplish. And then you have, at the end of it, your DVD special edition, special features. Just a really, really cool piece that kept releasing more movies, and so now this set is not complete, but it was at the time. And this is the Purge releases, and these releases were Best Buy releases. They released them just in time for a Christmas holiday, and I believe it was a Christmas holiday maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So this is the original Purge, and they're very simplistic. The back is just straight machete, and the side or the spine just very, very simple, right? Very simple. Let's say you open it, and you have your digital codes, but you also have your discs, your movies, but inside cover art as well. So, I mean, it's just a still from the film. So it's nothing breathtaking. It's not like they designed it just for this release, but again, very simple, very, very simple. This is the first Purge. Actually, the first Purge is another movie. This was the very first Purge movie, not the first Purge, but the very first Purge movie. And if you don't know what the Purge is, it's okay. The Purge is a movie series written, I think it was actually, might have been for books before, but essentially this utopian society decides that in order to cut crime 364 days of the year, they take one day, which is that one out of the 365, that anything is permitted, and during this time people go out, they commit crimes, anything goes. And so it's all about that. In the first one was actually really good, and I really enjoyed it, and the second one honestly was really good as well, and that's this one. Now, the first Purge was all just about a family that was being haunted by individuals, and someone who's running away from killers and sneaks into the house, and it's but it's very personal. Ethan Hawke, I believe, and the second one is all about sort of the city, follows certain individuals, but it's much more about people's take, trying to find different explanations. It's very allegorical, it's hypothetical, it's systematic, it is the author, and this is why I really liked the first one, because it was simple. It was like a simple psychological thriller horror movie, but the second one became a lot more allegorical, metaphorical, about society at large, and the gender inequality and pay gap and stuff like that. And while that's fair, if you want to make a movie on that, it was kind of like, man, I kind of just wanted to watch a movie. Like, I kind of just wanted to watch a horror movie and not really listen to a debate. I wanted to escape into this movie. So I think the first one was really good. The second one was really good. First and the back. And the costume designer did a wonderful job with these as well, making them just super, super, super creepy. The Purge. But this one, I don't know, the first one was really good, but this one was probably my favorite, I think, the second one. And then, of course, you have a culmination of, we're not even going to pretend that this isn't just like a way to cram politics and like religion and all of these things down your throat, and it's Purge election year. I really enjoyed the actors in this, which is why I watched it. But again, it's not something that, and when you listen to the commentaries as well, from the writer, and I think the writers might also be the director, but when you listen to that, he doesn't deny it. He's like, yeah, no, this was absolutely like a political documentary shown as a movie, and it's like, come on, man, you know, if I want to watch a political documentary, that's what I'll look for. This was when I started to lose interest in it, and then it just got worse from there. It really did, into the first Purge, which is a looking backwards, almost like a prequel of like how it all began. And I hear the disc moving around in here. Yeah, I got a little loose. Don't worry though, all of our stuff is guaranteed to work, guaranteed to play. And this is the first Purge. Now, I'll tell you kind of where my level of interest is. I didn't even watch this. After the Purge election year, I lost all interest in this series. But then they even came out with a television show. So, I don't know. It's really cool, collector's edition, but I became very disenfranchised after the first two films. It's not often that you think that the second outperformed the first, and I just wish that continued here, but the third was like a steep decline. The next battle, Los Angeles. What happens when aliens come in and strike Los Angeles, and the U.S. military has to fight for Los Angeles? It's your typical aliens are here. What are we gonna do? Now this is unique because this particular steelbook came out right about the time that they were just starting steelbooks. No one really knew what a steelbook was, and this was one of the very first editions, movies that came out in a steelbook. And like I said, it's aliens invade the Earth, and they come down and try to take over Los Angeles, and the U.S. military has to do something about it. I like alien movies, but well, that one was good. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. We take a bit of a break from the steelbooks, and we'll go to this. This is Back to the Future, and this is the 4K collection, the ultimate trilogy, still in its original wrap. This also was Best Buy. I'm not sure if this was a Best Buy exclusive, but this is where I picked this up. And this is a whole lot of stuff. 3 discs for 3 movies. And then in addition to that, you have a lot of extras like Back to the Future, the musical, which I actually was going to go see this year, but the tickets are like $300 a pop, which is a little crazy to me. Audition tapes and lots of memorabilia, fan exhibits, kind of a cult favorite that has got a lot of individuals who really love this, DeLoreans and whatnot. This man, Christopher Lloyd, is Doc. He finds out a way to travel back to the future. The man in the middle, Michael J. Fox, he gets in this DeLorean. He travels back to the future and meets his parents. That's his father, that's his mother, and this is the bully. Well, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting movie, but essentially he messes something up so bad in the past that when he comes back, he has to return again to the past to cure his big blunder. And then there's also one where he goes into the future. So it's interesting, but you have this DeLorean, and that's the name of the car, and I don't think anybody really knew what a DeLorean was until Back to the Future, so really, really interesting. And for this being an older film, all the actors, I believe, are still alive, which is pretty cool. They've come back and they've done, different readings, and, this really made, I think, Michael J. Fox was a big actor back then, but I think that kind of cemented his place. So, super, super cool. Alright, next, Sweeney Todd. Now, this particular one is a steelbook, and this is the European edition. So, there was no steelbook edition for Sweeney Todd in the United States. So, this is the European version. And this is a film. A film that was adapted from a musical. It is about that gentleman with the crazy hair. He is a barber who comes back to this town that he was basically banished from. London. I say it's like it's a small town you never heard of. It's London. And the Judge Turpin, wanted his wife. So he tried to take his wife by getting rid of him, kind of like a Man in the Iron Mask kind of situation. And he comes back to take revenge. He hooks up with a woman who has a failing pie shop and starts cutting hair. But in the cutting hair process, he starts killing people because he just is so filled with anger and hatred that he just wants everybody to die, basically. And in that process of doing all of that, he basically takes those individuals that he killed, gives it to her, and then throughout that process, she puts him in the pies. And when she puts him in the pies, her pie shop just explodes. So you have all of these people who are like, wow, you're doing something different. I really, really enjoy it. And they're actually eating people. And it's really, really dark. But Johnny Depp is great. And the music is wonderful. The musical is just phenomenal. I think it's one of the best, even though it's incredibly morbid. But European release, super rare, super cool. Next, this is John Wick 3. This is John Wick 3. Still with the cardboard cover art on the back. So, it's just more of a continuation of the same. You can't really see that, but John Wick 3, I think probably one of the more popular John Wicks. I don't, however, believe that it is the best. I think the first John Wick is probably the best. It's my favorite anyways. And there's the inside, and this truly is a limited edition, and this is 3400. Number 3400. 3400, even number. How cool is that? Of 35,000. And this is the one that has a lot of really, because it got pretty popular, so it had a lot of really interesting individuals that came in and actually participated in this particular one. Lawrence Fishburne, Halle Berry, this one Halle Berry is in. Mark Dacascos, who is just absolutely phenomenal. Lance Reddick is in this. Rest in peace, Lance. Phenomenal actor. But he comes back, he gets his revenge, he kills some people, he breaks the code, he gets excommunicated, and now everyone's trying to kill him, and he just decides to kill everyone in return. So it's interesting. It got a little philosophical, a little weird there at the end, trying to search and hunt for like an assassin's tribe in the desert, and then he had to offer up his finger like they did in Samurai, which is totally different. And like you're in the desert in the Middle East and you're doing samurai traditions. The whole thing made no sense. So I blame the writing versus the acting, but anything with Keanu Reeves is pretty good. Next, we have Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, I had the entire set, but you actually just missed it yesterday. Someone came in and bought all of them, but this one, they already had this one. So, I said, what am I going to do with just one disc? And they said, that's your problem, so here I am. So, if you are interested in this particular film, I will give you a very good discount. But another thing that I haven't been doing is taking out the discs to show you. So I'll show you now. The intricate interior cover art is actually pretty dang cool, and the Half-Blood Prince is a really interesting one. And I don't really know how to explain the Half-Blood Prince, because everything that I want to tell you about this movie is literally a spoiler, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But definitely one of my favorites in the Harry Potter wizarding world. And again, since that is standalone and not part of the collection, I will give you a discount if you want that. Lastly, for the series, we have this. This is Band of Brothers. Now, you can go and get this in the very, very boring Blu-ray setup, or you could get something that's just really freaking cool, like this. This is the HBO film series, directed by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, starred in as well by a lot of incredible people. A lot of stars got their I wouldn't say start, but notoriety, like Donnie Wahlberg and Tom Hardy, and actually David Schwimmer, who played Ross in Friends, is in Band of Brothers. A lot more. I'm missing a lot, but this is so cool. So this is about American GIs, true stories, following true stories, true individuals. At the very beginning of each episode, they have an interview with the actual person, and then they betray them. This is about Easy Company going and fighting in World War II. Now, this particular set is ugly. It's rusted. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's exactly the way that they wanted it to be. That's only going to get better with time and with age. And you have your little guide here, as far as, that's what's on the discs. And then you pull this out, and this is the actual discs are in here. So you can see kind of accordion style looking at the discs, just like so. And of course you have video diaries and lots and lots and lots of extras. I'll try to stretch out some of this cover art for you as well. Just one of the coolest collector's items you can ever have, even if you don't want to watch it, even if you've never seen it, even if you already have it. This particular collector's item is probably one of the coolest that I actually have, but I do highly recommend watching it. It is a great series. Okay. I've got one more to show you, probably the rarest one yet. Let's do it. So, this right here is the Hunger Games, like you've never seen. This is a limited edition, special edition box, an entire box of Katniss, Peeta, the Mockingjay, and this particular box was a Best Buy exclusive. If I'm not mistaken, it sold out very, very fast. And the majority of the cool factor that you have is the box, but you get to open the box, pull it down, and see what's inside. And it's honestly kind of a waste of a huge box. But you have this, and then you have this. That's it. Close this back up. This is magnetized, as you saw there. You have two things, and this is a glass. Well, it's not real glass. Plastic. Glass looking. The emblem for display. Limited edition. 47,250 in the world, and this was 10,523. So you get that, and that's kind of cool. And then you have the actual booklet, and this actual booklet is, your discs. So you got Katniss Everdeen, and this is your movie right there. Next, you're gonna turn it. See Peeta Malark, and you have your special features. Now you have Gale Hawthorne, and now you have your DVD movie, and then DVD special features as well, with the Mockingjay on the back. And the back is just real simple. So, really, really cool. Sold out very, very fast. One of 47,000 worldwide. So, perhaps not the most exclusive, but those things were flying off the shelf when the Hunger Games came out. So, still an excellent, excellent find. So, what do you think? Lots of interesting things, lots of provocative things, lots of memories, but also collectability. These collector's editions will never go down in price, so there is no stupid buy, but that also depends if you're married, because, well, everything will probably be considered a stupid buy. So, do you need a minute? No problem. Take as much time as you need. I'm actually going to go fetch some more stuff. Oh yes, there's more. I have a back room of nothing but movie props and collectibles from cinema. Well, let's go one at a time. I'm going to go prep that. Look at the list. Tell me if anything interests you, and I will